We're gonna do this, yeah? I want you to pretend you're holding that four like this between your fingers right now. And I'm gonna count to three. On the count of three, what's gonna happen is you're gonna throw it right at your lens. Yeah, as strange as it sounds. Are you ready? One, two, three. So right now. Got it. I actually got the
Want to say a massive thank you for not only coming to share your story, but also you will be showing me some magic tricks, which I'm so excited for. So I'd like you to introduce yourself first.
So my name's Sarvan Tethi is my full name, but I go by Sarv Magician on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you browse social media on. But I'm a 25-year-old magician from West London, and for the past 13 years I've been performing magic, and since I was 16 I've been performing it professionally. And after uni I made it a full-time job, which was I'm very fortunate to do so. But of course, COVID kind of wiped that out recently. But yeah, that's me. That's essentially me summed up in like three lines. So
You're a full-time magician.
yeah.
So I want to go back to how you um is it like learnt about magic and stuff? Is it self-taught or is it you went to classes?
It was a mixture of things. So when I was really young, I was so you've heard of Dynamo, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He like when he was sort of up and coming, and like he had his first TV shows that not too many people know about. It was called A State of Mind on Channel 4, I think it was. And years ago we saw that. So I don't, he must have been like 21, 22 at the time, I'd guess. But we saw him on that show just like by chance. I must have been like 9 years old or 10 years old or something. And like he made a card vanish, and I was like, oh my gosh! And just by chance, we met him at an exhibition. So my mum used to work for a company that worked on bringing Bollywood actors and actresses to the UK to do talks. And funnily enough, just by chance, Dynamo was doing a booking for MoneyGram or Western Union, or like I don't know if they're both one or something right now. But we saw him there. I was like, that's Dynamo. We saw him on TV. And we went up to him and he showed us some magic, and we were just like, wow, like that's actually, and got a photo and everything. And then a couple of years later, when I was, I think in year 8, so I was 13 or 12, no, 12 years old. And my mum, she saw that I was really into, because I was looking for videos of Dynamo, like for the past, like ever since then, basically. And my mum and dad bought me a magic set for Christmas, and that was my first exposure to like learning tricks. So, they were very easy tricks, but they were still very powerful. I used to basically do it at family parties and stuff. But yeah, magic sets I used to use, and I was very fortunate later in life, like as I was growing up, to actually be in contact with Dynamo and people like Magic Singh and just other magicians who work the circuit. So we would share secrets with each other, and they would give me tips as I was essentially growing into the magic world. So yeah, I think there's a mixture of where to learn and how to learn, I'd say.
Wow. So obviously you saw Dynamo as your role model. Um, but what I want to know about is, first things first, before we do get into a little bit more, what is magic?
Wow, that's a very good question. I don't think there's a single answer. I think magic is something it depends on you as a person what you think it is, because I'm gonna straight up say I think magic is that feeling you get when you've just seen something new, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a like a card trick, or like a piece of magic. It could be anything, like when you're young and you see like a plane flying in the sky for the first time, you're instantly like, oh mom, dad, what's that? And like you've got this wonder in your head, and you're thinking, how, like, what is that? So to me, it's that moment where you've kind of been brought back into a childlike state, and you've got this natural astonishment, as opposed to just reacting to seeing a trick. You're reacting to seeing something new that you're a stranger to, essentially. And there's a guy in the magic world. His name's Paul Harris. He's quite old now, but he's a very influential figure. He's actually one of the mentors of David Blaine when he started out. He describes this in his book, and he said when you're brought into that natural state of mind, it's like that's essentially what magic is. You know, you've automatically just been drawn back, and it's not because of the magic, it's the fact that it's something you've never seen before, and that's what's giving you the shock, as opposed to seeing the card appear under your watch, or you know, whatever it might be. So I think for me it's the feeling, but you know, to other people it might be different. So you know, like in our, you know, in Asian culture, loads of people might think it's black magic or whatever, and you know, you've probably heard that. It varies person to person. So you know, like I don't think there's one explanation.
Yeah, I mean, I watch your lives, and they really do shock me. I'm being honest with you, because I've never really explored the world of magic. I've seen like a few magicians at you know, weddings and stuff, and they always shock me. But yours in particular, because you do them on live as well, and you're really, really good. And is it like you teach yourself to get better? Because I remember you put up on your status that you've got new tricks. So how is it? You just learn yourself in your room, or?
Yeah, so like there's a mixture of things. So like I like before this whole lockdown stuff, I used to kind of have my set pieces that I would perform, and you know, you've probably seen some of them on the live, like the piece of magic with the lottery tickets turning into cash, the fiver turning into a 50. Like I had like my staple pieces that I'd learned years prior, but recently, like with the lives, because like, and you know, I'm not trying to throw shade. There's a lot of magicians who do lives, and they do copy. Yeah, like it's a very, like the industry is very, if they see someone doing a certain magic trick, they instantly try to go learn that. And for me, I've always been the kind of person that's the opposite. So if I see a magician doing a trick, I'm always like I don't want to do it anymore, because you know, like if say two of us turn up at a booking, and like you know, say for example one of us might be charging more, but we're doing the exact same trick, it doesn't look good. Like you need to be unique. And you know, during lot, so like that guy I mentioned earlier on, Paul Harris, he's got three incredible books, and these are like, you know, these are probably, they came out long before I was born, but I've been studying those over lockdown, and the best magic I've ever read, like, because you know, you can learn through video, you can learn through YouTube. Not, I mean, YouTube came after I'd sort of gone into it, but all the best magic I've ever learned has come from like books similar to those. And it's constantly, I look at what I can do, because like if I'm doing a trick in front of you, like right next to you, and you're physically taking something on video, so like if I was to do it here, I would have to like, you know, dribble the card, and I'd be like, you have to say stop just so it feels the same, because then I don't want you thinking I'm making you take a particular card or something like that. So it's a mixture of things. I do talk to other magicians, so we do Skype and Zoom with each other quite often. Just a couple of names to mention: Magical Bones. There's another guy called Ash. He's a younger magician. He's like 5 years younger than me. But we all give and take from each other, and like we use each other as inspiration to drive our own new brand of magic, essentially.
Really good. So that's, you work together then just to get some new ideas.
Some of us do, some of us don't. So yeah.
Not always, of course not. But if I was to just say join you guys and get that book that you read, and obviously communicate with you, can I start doing magic as well, or is it you have to be you have to have a specific mindset? How does it work?
Anyone can learn it. Anyone can learn it. There is no restrictions. I think what's cool about magic is that it doesn't discriminate. You know, you look at someone like David Blaine, yeah, and then you look at someone like David Copperfield, and then you look at someone like Dynamo. They all came from very different backgrounds. You know, Dynamo was raised in he in Bradford, where it was really rough, and he even talks about this. David Copperfield does these massive stage shows, and you know, like he came from a different background. So did Blaine, but like all of them succeeded, like, and they're worldwide now. So it doesn't discriminate on who wants to learn. It's as long as you're willing to put in the effort, that's all that matters.
So this might sound really strange. Now I'm doing a bit of decorating in my house, and of course you need money for that. So there's a few magic tricks I've seen, and I know I've asked you this before, where you've changed like a £20 note to a £50 note, or a £5 note to a £20 note. Can I do that? And maybe, I mean, does that money still stay as £20, or does it go back to the £5?
To an extent, I mean, sometimes it depends on the person, really. I mean, I normally turn it back because I don't want to take the mick, but it's more, how do I put this? If I could really do that, you know, I wouldn't be sitting at home. I'd be sitting in a mansion, like with a swimming pool and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, it depends on what illusion you want to give to the audience, you know, because I have done it on occasion where, you know, like I've done the lottery ticket trick on charity events, and I'll give that money out, and people are just like, oh snap, it's actually real money. And then I'm just like, yeah, but you know, it depends on the magician. I think without giving it too much away, it depends on what the magician wants to do with that money, because technically it's his or hers money, if you know what I mean.
Look, you said you don't want to take the mick, but would you be taking the mick when you've changed? It's a £20 note now, not a £5 note anymore. So would it be I mean, you would know more, obviously you're the magician, but for me, I'm like, wow, it's a £20 note now, yeah. So I'll go and spend it.
It's interesting because, like, that's a really good question. I think it also depends on, like, as deep as this might sound, you know, like you might do it on someone. So say like I'm at a wedding and I borrow someone's £5 and turn it into a 20. I might not know their financial situation. So me turning it into a 20, you know, like me turning it back might make them upset. I don't know, like, because it can happen. Like it can happen, but I think, I don't know. I wish I could really just, you know, make money appear all day long, because then I'd just be having such a nice lavish lifestyle. But yeah, I wish it really could work that way, but it's not. That's the thing.
So I assume there are certain restrictions that you can and can't do in magic.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, I wouldn't call it a restriction, but there's a lot of people out there who think I'm some sort of medium and that I can, like, contact their dead relatives. I've had it before. They're like, can you contact a dead people? I'm just like, no, like that's a different realm. And like, I know there's a lot of people out there who actually take advantage of those types of people. So yeah, I mean, there's certain things you wouldn't want to go near, if you know what I mean, because, like, you know, there's people that contact to claim the dead, and there's people like me who just say, look, it's just entertainment, I'm just here to hang out with you guys and make sure you have fun for the next few moments. So yeah, I mean, you can delve into other realms, if you know what I mean.
So I know I did mention before the Illuminati, okay? Yeah. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know much about the Illuminati. I've always heard about it. To be fair, I'm a bit scared myself to read into it. It's something that does scare me, but it's something that I do want to educate myself on as well.
Fair play.
Now, I did see your status the other day about the Illuminati. So what was that about?
No, so basically, I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, no magician is part of the Illuminati, to my knowledge. You know, like, whether, I don't know, like maybe some of the higher ups, maybe they are, who knows. But I can tell you right now, none of what I do is evil. I think anyway. Magic's not really, like, it's nothing to do with the Illuminati. I think in our culture, because Asian people specifically, they see magic as like black magic, or, you know, they might look at it in quite a dark way. They kind of associate it to Illuminati, and, you know, like, Illuminati, just, there's no distinct meaning behind it. It's just, they think it might be a bunch of people controlling the world, or just like a secret organization. I mean, I think the only similarities between the Illuminati, and if it's a real thing, that is, obviously I'm not claiming that it is real. I think the only similarity between that and something like the Magic Circle is that they're just secret societies, you know, and we just both got our own thing. But it's nothing sinister, like, to worry about. And it's funny because you've seen the lives, and you've seen me getting accused of being a djinn and all this kind of crap. It's funny. It's genuinely funny, because when I see those comments, I'm just like, the fact that they think, you know, like, these people think card tricks, like simple card tricks, are the work of demons, that makes me, like, very happy, because I know that I'm doing my job correctly, essentially. So I think it's quite funny, like, in a respectful way, like, that people think it is demons or the Illuminati, but I can assure you it's nothing sinister. It's literally, we are just entertainers for you and to make you guys happy. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
No, thank you. No, I appreciate that. So, you know, obviously you did mention, I've got that down actually, about jinns, and how does that make you feel? Like you said, it excites you, but does it, when you maybe come off the live and think, oh God, that person thinks I'm a ghost or I'm a, spirit or whatever?
It's funny. So I've felt a couple of different ways about it, and like I'm from a Punjabi Sikh background, so I didn't know what jinns were until I asked one of my Muslim friends. I was like, "Can you tell me what this is?" This was years ago, by the way. This is long before these TikTok lives and everything. And he goes, "Oh, they're basically just calling you a demon." He goes, "It's nothing to worry about because I know that you just entertain." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And like, I just take it on the chin because I think it's quite cool that they think it might be demons, because you got to think of it this way, yeah. And like, again, going back to the whole cultural side of things, like in America and like the UK, magic is an entertainment form. You go to the theater, you go to the movies, or you go to a magic show, like you actually see it on TV. Now, in our culture, what's cool, like in India or Pakistan, you say magic, they instantly think black magic, voodoo, or some kind of along those.
Absolutely.
And I think, the reaction of like people calling me jinn specifically, it's more, like they've seen the trick, and because they've been brought up not to see it as entertainment but as something sinister, that's obviously why the reaction of, oh, you're a demon, you're a jinn. And I think it's funny personally. Like, I love it when people call me that, and it actually inspired me to come up with a new show that I'm writing called Demon Magic. So it's just me. It's essentially going to be me taking a mick out of how people think I use demons, but then doing demon-related magic. So it's inspiring. It's inspiring. I think it's really cool, but I never find it offensive. And like I think it's really cool that people must think that demons have so much power, but they're gonna use it to give a young boy from West London the power to do card tricks and money tricks. So I think it's cool. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen it, and I've also seen your reaction as well, which is really good because you tend to just ignore, but at the same time, like, oh yeah, that person called me a June, ha ha ha, which is it's quite funny, to be fair. I understand what you said about the culture, maybe that because that's how their upbringing is when it comes to magic. I mean, in my household, when I mention magic, my mum's like, don't
Yeah.
mention magic, etc. And even when I told my family, oh, I've got a magician, and she was like, have you? Is he going to do magic tricks? I was like, well, yeah, because it's nice to know different stories. And I said, I've been watching you for such a long time, and I just wanted to know a little bit more about you and obviously the world of magic. Just another thing, obviously your card tricks that you've done, is it mind reading?
I mean, the stuff you've seen on TikTok, not really, because basically, like, I'm going to be completely honest, with things like TikTok, yeah, I can only do a certain amount of tricks. So, like, even through the screen right now, I could only do a certain amount of things just because, the frame space is limited. And, like, if I was doing mind reading, I'd need to be with you, see your eyes, how your eyes are reacting to certain things I'm saying, or like your body language. With TikTok specifically, and like Instagram Live and stuff, it's quite difficult because I'm working with like literally this tiny little screen, and on your iPhone it might be fine, but when the screen space when you're live with someone, it's so small that you just can't do it, if you know what I mean. So like, I've got a mixture. Like, a lot of what you see is card magic on TikTok, and that's because it works well and it's visual, but in real life, if you were to see me, you would see me do completely different. You'd probably see me do next to no card tricks at all. You would see a lot of mentalism, a lot of stuff with money. I like borrowing people's phones and money and like all this kind of stuff and watches and saying, look, we're gonna try something with your things. The cards are just, for me, card tricks have become a very boring thing, funnily enough. But on TikTok, I have to do it because that's what shows up on camera clearly, if you know what I mean.
So how do people react to you when you tell them that you're a magician?
There's always a varied reaction. I think like different magicians have different approaches, and I've always been like magicians. You traditionally they're like these guys that are normally on stage with a bow tie and like a top hat, and like, it's very cliche. Let's face it, it's not something that would fit in today's day and age unless you pull it off really well. For me, and something like over that, because my magic developed immensely while I was at university, because I was doing stuff like, I got into nightclub magic. I was doing magic in the dark where it's thumping loud and I couldn't speak. So like all my stuff would end up being visual. I've always had a very laid back approach to magic because there are some magicians, you know, that I know they'll go up to a group and they'll make them feel uncomfortable because it's more about watch me, watch how clever I am, and it's like it's a very egotistic way of performing. But in my experience, like because I grew up just being a normal person, knowing what people like to, you know, like when I was in uni, we would grab, you know, a bunch of drinks and a bunch of food and just go to the park and just hang out like in the summer. And like for me, it's about being casual with people. So when I go up to people at weddings, you wouldn't even think I'm a magician. You would just think I'm a guest. I mean, especially Asian weddings where I look like a relative. Um, but I just go up to people. I'm like, hey, what's up? And I'll just talk to them first, like, and just you know get a vibe of what they're like. And I think that's what puts them at ease because if you say I'm a magician straight when you start busting out tricks, you might almost open yourself up to a heckler of some kind or whatever. But with me, I want to let them know that I'm their mate, you know, first, and I'm a magician second, because it's all about entertainment for me. Like I want to leave that event or whatever social setting I'm in, knowing that I didn't just go there to, you know, get paid and just do money and then walk out. Like I went there to actually like add to the experience and let people know that, you know, hopefully they enjoyed, if you know what I mean. So laid back approach. That's me all over.
That's amazing because, to be fair, I don't know many magicians, but I have seen a few, and you're very humble about your magic tricks and your approach, and how you even speak about the world of magic itself. The one question that I did have, and a lot of people on your live do ask this, is that is it fake?
How do I frame this? I think this goes back to our first question of what you said, what magic is. Um, I think, in my view, anyway, you know, other magicians might think differently, other people might think differently. Um, the magic is what you want it to be, and you know, the whole point of magic, the fact that you don't know what's behind it, you know, the mystery, which is essentially what the magic lies in, and you know, that astonishment. Um, if you think it's fake, maybe it's fake. If you think it's real, maybe it's real. If you think maybe I'm conjuring spirits to do the magic, maybe I'm doing that. If you think I'm just, you know, an entertainer and just like a passerby, I don't want anyone that I go up to thinking the exact same thing as the person next to him. I want them all to have a different viewpoint because end of the day, if everyone knew whether it was real or whether it was fake, I think magic would die out pretty quickly. So to answer that question, is it fake? It's what you think it is. I'm not going to say whether it's fake because my job is to make you believe. But if you don't want to believe, that's up to you. You know, I'm not forcing you, but you need to. I want you to have your own viewpoint. I want you to walk away from me and just wonder, because that's my job. You know, like whether what you make of it is not up to me. It's up to you.
Okay, well then that leads us to let me see what I make of your magic tricks then.
Ah, okay. You know what? This is fantastic. I've got some incredible piece of magic for you. In fact, Simon, I've got we're gonna do this. Obviously, we're working through a virtual environment right now. Normally, if I was with you in the room, I'd get you to be picking cards out, or I'd maybe ask for some money from your person. I'd do something with that. But we're gonna do this. I just want to warm you up first, quickly. I've got something in my pocket. I'm gonna show you it in a second. But could you just think of one playing card in your mind for me?
Okay.
You've got one card. Okay. And we're going to do this. I've actually got, this is a little souvenir from university. It's just a little bulldog clip. I'm going to bring it close to the camera just so it doesn't go out of view. But could you think of that one card? Think of it in your mind. And what I want you to do is I want you to name it out loud, but only say the number. So if you're thinking like 4 of spades, for example, you would only say 4. Yeah? So if you could tell me what the number was.
4.
It was a 4. You want that or do you want to change? It's up to you.
That's good. Yeah, it was 4.
Okay, are you sure you're happy with that? You can change.
100%. 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this, yeah? I want you to pretend you're holding that 4 like this between your fingers right now. And I'm gonna count to 3. On the count of 3, what's gonna happen is you're gonna throw it right at your lens. Yeah, as strange as it sounds. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Throw it now. Got it. I actually got the card. And it's funny because you thought of one playing card, and for the first time, could you name that card out loud, Saima?
So it was 4. Do you want me to say the shape as well?
Mm-hmm.
4 hearts.
This is incredible because you chucked one card at me. I don't know where in the UK you're calling from, but you chucked the 4.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Very strange indeed.
How did you know that? I just don't understand. And this is something I ask myself every time I watch your lives, is that how did you know that it was 4 hearts? How did that?
I didn't. Like, hands up, you done all the work. You imagined your card really well, and when you threw it, I just materialized it. That's it. So this is down to you, not to me. Like I said, this is all about you.
That's crazy, Sav. I don't know how I feel because I've never had, obviously, I've always watched. I've never actually engaged with a magician where I actually do the tricks. Well, not me, but you're doing the tricks on me. But I can't understand. It's just a simple trick, and I had it in my mind 4. And as soon as you said 4, I was like, okay, how did you know it was 4?
It is strange, like you said, that you said 4 because I instantly, got that. Now, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to straight up put my hands up and say it was just a wild guess. That was just an example. Now, coincidentally enough, of course, used a 4. Now, I gave you the option to change if you wanted, right? If you had a choice to change that to anything, what would it be?
10.
10. And what 10 would you want to go for?
Spades.
10 of spades. It's incredible because, strangely enough, you actually see nothing in my hands, yeah? If I go into my pocket, you actually see I've got an envelope. Oops. And inside this envelope, you actually see, if I open this up, I've got a bit of paper inside. Nothing else, literally just, I literally cut this out of my card myself. But you said 10 of spades. So if I open this bit of paper up, you'll actually see there's one thing written on it, and that is 10 of spades.
Okay, how did you do that? Come on, how did you do that? I just literally guessed that. How that?
I just thought, you know what, it'd be sick if I write 10 of spades and someone just says that. That'd be brilliant.
That's crazy because there's been times where I've seen your magic and I'm thinking, and I've tried to even look, is there somebody behind it that quickly does it?
On the angle, yeah, of course.
That's not going to happen, of course not, because you're in front of me and I can't even accuse you of that. But it's just crazy and it's mind-blowing to see how you do these tricks.
Yeah, I've got some great piece of magic prepped for you. In fact, I want to try something a little bit personal. I actually brought out my little card table. You probably recognize this from the live stream. You can see the cards, they are all different, right? In fact, I want to try to personalize this trick to you because for me, magic isn't just about showing someone a trick. I want them to feel connected to me and I want them to see that, magic does connect anyone and everyone, no matter where everyone's from. In fact, we use a bunch of jokers. I'll try this. This is something actually. So I normally carry four jokers in every deck, and I want you to see this. Yeah, you're actually going to see the moment this happens. In fact, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 jokers. Yeah, watch very carefully. I'm just going to square these up, and you'll see the very moment this happens. Watch 1, 2, 3, and every single joker you'll see now actually changes to Saima, 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 Saima. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards on it.
Wow! Oh my god! I don't know if I should be scared. I don't know how I feel.
But we'll take it a step further. In fact, if I don't know where in the UK you're from, but if I do eventually meet you, I'll keep those in a little envelope and I'll make sure those get to you.
Yes.
Hey, we'll take it a step further. In fact, let's try something without cards, yeah, because like we've done a couple of card tricks so far. I've actually got a bunch of these. These are, you'll probably recognize these from the local news agents and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, the national lottery tickets. In fact, I'm going to tilt down a bit. I think that'd be better. So we got a bunch of tickets like Hot Picks, Thunderball, Euro Millions, Daily Play, and all these, you know, like essentially every lottery ticket is the same because nobody ever wins, right? I want you to watch the papers really carefully because you're going to see the very moment that these actually turn from paper into plastic. And that's 20, that's 40, that's 60, that's 80. And that's £100, and that I'm actually gonna hang on to that because I don't have a job at the moment, so I'm gonna keep that. Comes in handy.
You're going to keep that then?
Yeah, that's I'm keeping that. I need that money. Like, hopefully that will that'll be a nice dinner on the 12th of April when things start to open up. So that's my goal to do with that money.
Has anybody ever come up to you and said, Saf, I need some money. Here's a £5, can you change it to £20?
Funnily enough, they have. They actually have, and I love like I said earlier on. I love taking the mick because like sometimes people they genuinely give me five and like, Sovereign, do this, and I'm just like, oh, what do you want? And they're like, oh, turn it into a 50. So some guy actually told me once, he was like, can you turn it into a £50 note? I was like, you want me to turn this into 50, yeah? And they're like, yeah, please. And like they're all watching, they're all pumped, yeah, because they're like, oh, we're gonna be rich, and I'm just like, you lot don't know what I'm about to do, and I folded it up, and it turned into a 50p coin. And I gave it to him. They're like, what's this? And I was like, well, you asked for a 50. You didn't, you know, you weren't specific. And they were like, no, I want my fiver back. And I was like, nah, I just made a fiver. So see you later.
Wow. So are you able to not say because like, are you able to decide what you want it to turn into? You are.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I know what I'm gonna do if someone hands me something. Yeah, but sometimes I do take requests. Like one of my friends, Etienne Pradier, he's a French magician. Yeah, and he's absolutely fantastic. He's one of the top workers in the country. He does this really cool one where he'll borrow a note of someone, and he'll say, what do you want? And someone will just name any currency. Any I think I told when I met him for the first time and I was like starstruck. I was like, oh my gosh, this Etienne, he's so cool. I said rupees. I was just taking the mick, and he turned the note into rupee. I was like, huh? And I've seen him do it so many times where he'll just say to someone, name any currency, and he just turns it into that. I'm like, that is, you know, like, and he literally gives people the request. Like, so I think it makes it personal as well, which is really great. You know, like that's what magic's all about.
Does it carry these rupees or these pounds, Scottish? Wow.
I don't even know, because I'm just like, all right, even if he's carrying them, like, how the hell is he pulling them out too quickly? Because like that's impossible, you know. It's just he's like euros here, dollars here. Like I don't even want to think about it. But like I've seen it, so I'm just like, how is he doing this? Like it's amazing.
That's crazy. Honestly, I mean, how I feel after like seeing all these magic tricks. It's different seeing it on live because you're doing it with other people, but the fact that myself and you, and it's just like, wow, it's crazy. You've got another one, haven't you?
I did. I actually like this is I had this on the side of screen. I didn't know if we were going to use it or not, but I actually made a little prediction, and it's just, as you can see, it's a little pay envelope. It's got something inside, of course, and I actually marked it with your name, and I put 8th of August 21. In fact, I'm gonna take this, and I'm just gonna leave it. I don't want you thinking I'm hiding it off camera or anything, so I'm just gonna leave it right here, just for the time being. And I know you're using your phone right now because the screen is vertical, so we're just gonna use my phone, and I'm gonna pull out my calculator. So, hold on. In fact, let me show you what I'm doing, just so you got a reason to trust me. In fact, let me turn the brightness down as well. Fantastic, perfect. So we're going to go on the calculator, and Simon, I want to generate a random number. Yeah, now this random number is going to be completely dependent on you. I say we'll use about four or five numbers. So what are those two digits?
7 and 1.
7 and 1. So 71. We're going to times that. Yeah, in fact, let me just bring this. Yeah, much better. Sweet, so you can see that much more cleanly. So 71, we're going to times that. Can you give me 3 random numbers? 3 random numbers.
3, 5, 2.
So we're going to times that by 352. We're going to times that by, let's make it even stranger and more random. What's your shoe size?
Size 5.
Size 5. So we'll times that by 5. And we'll times it by, so we're getting a big number, which is good. And could you give me, is there a date in your life that was very special to you by any chance?
Yeah.
A year, not a date.
Yes, so it's, do you want the full date or just the year?
Four digits, yeah.
1995.
1995, the year I was born, funnily enough. So we're going to times that by, yeah, how crazy is that? Times 1995. So that equals, okay, I think this is actually a bit big. So I don't, you can see that's 249 million. In fact, I'm going to minus, we'll do about, hold on, I'm just going to type in some random numbers. So we'll do one more. Okay, so we're going to minus that, and all of this together should equal whatever this is. So I'm going to look at this right now. So we got 3,017,295, I think, something like that. I'm really bad with numbers, but you can see that that number is something that is basically comprised of numbers from your life, essentially, plus a random number at the end. Now, I actually had this here from the very beginning, and this is quite strange because I'm just going to pull this off, and I want you to see. I'm gonna keep the phone right here so you can still see the number. And check this out. I'm going to open this up. Normally, if I knew your address, I would have mailed this to you, but I'm going to open this up. And I want you to see what's inside, because you can actually see it's a bit of paper. Yeah? Now, we got a number here that is 3017295. If I open this up right now, I want you to actually see we've got a bit of paper, and there is one prediction on there, and that is 3017295.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh my God. And you just predicted this before I call?
Yeah, literally. Like I actually wrote that down a couple of days ago, and I thought, if this works, this would be absolutely fantastic. And I sealed it in the envelope, and I was like, well, let's just hope for the best.
Wow.
I'm gonna keep that with your cards with your name on it, actually.
Yeah. That's crazy stuff. I mean, is it a lot of reading that you are doing for you to understand?
It's a mixture. It's a mixture. You know, like how you know how to read people, you know, with psychology and criminology and stuff. It's very similar. You know, like once you know the magic principles, that's absolutely fine. But how are you applying it to people in real life? Because it's one thing performing magic in front of a mirror or your video camera, and there's another thing actually interacting with a group, because they might be completely different to what you're expecting. So it's more a case of how am I reading these people, how they're going to react to what this is, you know, because like I might do something like that, and who knows, maybe there'll be a group out there that think it's a bit of a long trick. Whereas something like the name one, if I do that, they've felt a deeper connection to that because it involves their name. So it is very dependent on the person, and it goes back to earlier what I said, where everyone does react differently to magic. So yeah, I think it's how do you apply magic in real life? Because it's one thing reading it in the book, it's another thing performing it in real life, and it's another thing sitting in front of your mirror thinking it's going to be great. Because I've had loads of times where I've done it and I'm just like, yeah, this didn't work in real life. So I'm back to the drawing board. But yeah, it happens.
Just my one last question I do have for you, Saf. What does the future hold for you in terms of the world of magic?
Oh, that's a very good question. I mean, right now, hopefully getting our lives back someday soon. But the moment everything opens, I've got some great plans for hopefully future YouTube videos, because street magic's going to come back. We were out filming in Hyde Park the other day, so that we get some great reactions there. But I want to essentially I want to connect with people more. I want people to know, you know, like this isn't just about quick little Instagram and TikTok 30-second videos. This is about actually like creating like a proper environment where people feel like, whoa, at the end of it, if you know what I mean. So YouTube, I'd love to do a stage show one day, you know, hire out a theater, get loads of friends and family to come down, and, you know, whoever might have been following me for years, and you know, just treat them to a show. But yeah, I mean, it's a mixture of things, I'd say. So like, you know, I want to get to know my followers more. I think that's my main goal after lockdown ends.
Absolutely, and I've seen that you have gained quite a lot of following over lockdown. Because I remember when I approached you, and to be fair, it's because you have been quite active as well, which is amazing. And I'll be honest, I've seen how much your followers do appreciate what you do and your magic tricks, just like I do as well. So I just want to wish you all the very best, and thank you so much for sharing and helping me understand the world of magic.
Thank you for having me. It was honestly such a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope you have got like that greater understanding of magic that you wanted at the beginning. So like, you know, anytime I'm happy to discuss anytime.